Alright, guys, welcome back. I'm Ray. I'm slowly recovering, but I do apologize. I got sick yesterday, so I'm still trying to get over it. A little bit of a cold, but yeah, I just got done watching a movie on HBO Max. This is The Matrix Resurrections, and I was going into this with like zero expectations, but let's just say I never had a movie give me negative expectations, especially when I was finished with the movie. But this movie really pissed me off to the point that this felt like almost Last Jedi all over again. And I originally liked The Last Jedi until the third movie came out, and I realized that Last Jedi was shit. But, anyways, Matrix Resurrections, what can I say about this? This is a movie that does not need to exist. Another video kind of similar to this, or excuse me, a movie that's similar to this was Terminator Dark Fate. Now, I didn't see that one, but I saw all the reviews. It's like, yeah, I'm glad I didn't watch it. This one I gave the benefit of the doubt because I actually liked the treatment of The Matrix. I like Reloaded. I like Revolutions. And I know that's an icy take, but I like the idea that these machines were, imprisoning humans for power and all that. But when it comes to a story, and again, I have to blame EFAT for this because they really opened up my eyes to what a story really is. Characters, beginning, middle, and end. Matrix finished with me on the third one. I felt like I got closure. It was good. Again, relative. I know a lot of people hate it, but that's an argument for another day. Resurrections opened up a story that didn't need to be retold. And I can tell you one thing, if you guys haven't seen the second one or third one, this movie is going to confuse you, like to no end. Because this movie actually needs you to watch the third one to figure out what the heck is going on in here. There will be spoilers. I'm going to be talking about it. So if you don't want to be spoiled, I don't see why you wouldn't. This movie is crap as it is. But I really did not like this movie. So the whole premise behind this movie is that it kind of picks off where the third one left off. Neo sacrificed himself so that way everyone could be free. He was a chosen one. And we had closure with that. This takes place about 20. I think, no, it's actually more than that. I think, as they said, either between 20 or 60 years. It gets confusing. But it's several decades after the last of Matrix 3. And what happened was that basically the aliens discovered that their bond between Neo and Trinity gave them the holy power, essentially, of what they need for civilizations. Now, that's where it goes off the freaking rail. Basically, Neo is trapped back into the Matrix, and then what's weird is that he's basically a program or software or a game developer, there we go, that created the Matrix within the Matrix. Talk about some Inception BS. But anyways, he's basically a software developer that is going crazy. He's seeing all these memories and so forth, and he's seeing a therapist to see if he's going crazy or not. And then we got our new essentially characters that escaped the Matrix to help assist Neo to bring him back to the red pill, yada yada yada. There was a lot of member berries, a lot of nostalgia for nostalgia's sake, not for story. And so Neo was faced with, is Trinity happy with this new Matrix, essentially? And it was left to her to make a choice if she wanted to be red pill or blue pill. And that was basically the story in a nutshell. And it's like, it was left to her to decide. And then, so basically you go through this whole sequence of things. You get to see the world outside of the software. You get to see the aliens. Apparently during this time frame there was a civil war between aliens. There's some alien machines that are now allied with our humans outside of the Matrix. It gets so redonkulous. And I was a fan of the third one. I like the idea that the Matrix was this antagonist, or not Matrix. The machine aliens were the antagonist, and the humans, were trying to have their freedom, which I thought they did in the last one, which is the way it should be. But this movie decided to rip open the story again of the first three and basically retell it. Now, what really, really pissed me off about this movie was the ending of it. Basically, you have Neo wants to have Trinity back because, Neo knows about what's real at this point because he finally got red pilled again. Great. Sure, whatever. Um, and, Trinity has that choice if she's going to, stay with the life she has with the family, have kids, married, so forth, the lifestyle, the family lifestyle. And then by the end of it, she finally snaps out of it, gets red pilled essentially, and they fight the new Matrix, the new Agent Smith, who was actually the therapist, which I can't remember who was played by the therapist. I don't care. That's just how much I don't like this movie right now. The new Morpheus is whatever. Basically, Morpheus was killed, I believe, in the first one. Yeah, if I remember correctly, he was killed in the first one, but he eventually became an agent of this new Matrix system that the aliens developed after the events of Matrix 3. Which, it is what it is. But then, in the outside world, he was actually some nanobot AI type of thing. I can't even describe it. It was so confusing because now we have so many different factions. They're trying to do so much with the concept of alliances and artificial intelligence. It's really weird. I thought 3 was, stretching it, but this one takes it to a whole new freaking level I can't even describe. But anyways, so we have Trinity that makes this decision that she essentially wants to be with Neo. And then at the very end scene, when basically our new Agent Smith, again, it's not Agent Smith is in here, but he's actually helping Neo because he was essentially freed, I think, in the second one with Reloaded. And he basically defeats the new Agent Smith equivalent, the therapist. I'm just going to call it a therapist. It's the same guy that's one of the main leads in How I Met Your Mother. The actor escapes me, but essentially this new Agent Smith is what I'll call, has the ability to stop time in the program and be fast. And essentially the old Agent Smith, which leads to some more interesting questions, when they basically remade the Matrix, why did they have that old code of Agent Smith in there? I don't know. It's so freaking confusing. Like, my mind is freaking blown just how bad this movie is, story-wise, and just world building. So by the end of it, the therapist basically executes an order to not necessarily delete the world, but basically the whole world's against them. And so both Neo and Trinity have to jump off a building. And when they jumped off the building, the chosen one essentially, was able to fly, have abilities, and be super OP. So when these two jump off the building, you would think, all right, Neo's going to fly again, like we saw in the original trilogy. No. It's not Neo who flies. I'll give you one other guess who flies and who doesn't, and who saves who. Yep, Trinity flies, Neo doesn't. Indicating, a very soft indicator, that no, it wasn't Neo that was the chosen one. It was Trinity this whole time. She was the one. She's the key to everything. It was very subtle, but it was there. And that's the part that just flipped me off. That's where the passion for this video comes to play, because I was so angry. It's like, no, Neo is the chosen one. He sacrificed himself. He went through the hero's journey 1, 2, and 3, regardless of, people hate it or not. I enjoyed it. Again, I'm in the minority with that. I understand that. But I enjoyed it. I grew up with the Matrix movies. And then to see what happened here, that last scene. Now, granted, they're back together. And the ending of this movie was ridiculous. They basically... it's so confusing. So they tried to explain that they didn't stop the overwrite of the new Matrix software, so they flew back to the therapist guy, who was basically the new Agent Smith, and they basically told them that no, we're gonna control the Matrix. You gave us a second chance at things, and then they fly off, and both of them fly off into the distance. Yeah, it was. Oof. It was a tough movie. Going through this whole movie, I was just thinking to myself, why is this here? Why is this here? All right, member berries. Remember what all the good things in episode 1? Remember all the good things in Reloaded? Remember all the good things in Revelations? So, for all intents and purposes, this is technically Matrix 4. It does continue. But it is a movie that should not exist. This is basically Terminator Dark Fate. But again, Dark Fate, I think, is a little bit. When it comes to what they did in Dark Fate versus here, this one is more of a reboot. It does acknowledge the first 3 movies, and they want to continue that on. They want to continue to. It felt like a cash grab. I felt like this was just a movie to get your money and get you in the seats. But it was very clear that Trinity was kind of the key to everything. You know, that woke mentality a little bit. And that's where it pissed me off the most. It's like this movie had like a mixture of all 3 movies. So it's like if you don't like the concept of like the aliens from the second or third Matrix movies, you're gonna absolutely hate this one. And that's why I said in my tweet that this movie is best described as, if you like the first Matrix, you're gonna hate this movie. If you like the trilogy, you're gonna hate this movie. I think Warner Brothers they found a way to not only to destroy the Matrix and what it was all about, but they found a way to alienate all of the fan base. No one's gonna like this movie. This movie, I don't understand what they're. Well, I do understand what they're trying to do. This is basically a cash grab. They want to reboot this series. This is a mixture between The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi. Because the ending scene really portrayed and projected that Trinity is the all more powerful one. Now, granted, Neo does help a lot. It could have been worse. This movie could have been worse with the projection of Trinity being the chosen one. But the last scene, they tried to make it that they're equally powerful, but the end scene of Trinity flying and Neo not being able to fly really shows that they were putting that forward. And then all this, I didn't have any attachment to all of these new characters. Like the new Morbius, it was a tough sell for me. All these other characters, I can't remember the names. Like the blue hair chick over here, I didn't care for her. I didn't care for the new crew. Oh, it was bad. I had no attachment to this like I did the original 3. And it's like, I just don't know what this movie is trying to do. I thought it was going to be a passing of the torch. But it wasn't, because Neo and Trinity survived. And because they survived, that just tells me that they want to milk more of this franchise. This franchise is dead. This movie I think is going to flop hardcore. And it's going to be killing what little good faith the fans had. That's why I wanted to see it, because, I had that good faith. But I am so happy I watched this in HBO Max versus the theaters. This is definitely one of those movies that don't see it in theaters. Just watch Spider-Man again. No Way Home. Yeah, this movie was bad. Way, way bad. Don't watch it. That's all I gotta say. So, with it, guys, thank you so much for listening in to my little rage here of The Matrix Resurrections. Again, the movie just terribly bad. It is a cash grab. Don't watch it. With that, I'll see you on the next one.